Hi everyone, my name is Rodney Smith, and in this video I'm launching the 7th season fundraiser for Watch It Played. In the description below, as well as on screen, you should be seeing a link to the Indiegogo campaign, which of course I do hope you'll check out. But just in case you're not aware, I get to work on Watch It Played full time because of a fundraiser I run each year to support the following year. And that support that I receive makes up the vast majority of the income that I make for the year. And not only does that allow me to keep working on the show and reinvesting in it, but it also does the very real and important job of allowing me to support my family. And I have to admit that making an income this way is a little nerve-wracking because, of course, I never know in advance the kind of support that I'm going to get. But at the same time, this allows me to remain independent and create the content that I do the way that I want to do it. It also means that you, as my supporters, are my number one priority. I know in this video that I need to talk about the fundraiser and the perks and the purpose behind all of that. But before I do, I hope you'll permit me a quick moment just to say thank you. I came to this hobby just like I'm sure many of you did through my family and my friends, but because of this channel, it has expanded far beyond that. I can honestly say I've never done anything in my life work-wise that is as personally fulfilling as creating the content for Watch It Played. And that's not something I get to do by accident. I get to do it because people like you value it and support it. And that's why it's frustrating, honestly, sometimes, that all I can do is say thank you and keep working on the show and hope that in some way that gets across just how meaningful all of this is to me. I hope that as inadequate as the expression is, you really take it to heart when I say thank you for all the support you've given me in the past and that you might continue to give me this year. If you look at the fundraiser page, you'll find a summary of all the content we created last season, which comes out to about 167 videos, or one video releasing every 2 to 3 days. But my hope is that we're not just filling up the internet with content. I would want to be striving to create videos that let you know just how much I care about this hobby and that also show I value the time that you give up to watch the videos we create. I always want you to have a good experience. I want the information we present to be meaningful and useful and maybe even sometimes entertaining. So this season I'll work just as hard to create as much, if not more, content for you. And if the show has had some value to you in the past, it's on that level that I would ask you to consider donating to this season's fundraiser. You might have noticed I'm keeping the fundraising goals the same this year as we had last year, and that means at a baseline of $60,000, I should be able to cover the majority of the expenses related to the show, as well as work on it full-time myself, creating the tutorial videos. And if we reach $80,000, I'll then also be able to bring Pet McDonald on again, so we can create the content that requires more than one person, like the gameplay videos, the live shows, and things like that. There's also some other stretch goals, as well as one that was recommended to me this year by a lady at Origins who suggested that I wear a Mountie costume as cosplay at Gen Con. I've never done cosplay, but once I had that idea, I couldn't quite shake it. So for one day, I will agree if we reach that stretch goal to wear a Mountie costume. I'm sure pictures will be taken. There's also a stretch goal where you as viewers will be able to pick one of the games that we feature this year, and another stretch goal where I'll agree to do Star Wars Rebellion, a game which, because of an internet joke, spearheaded primarily by Marty Cannell of Rolling Dice and Taking Names, and adopted by many others, particularly on Twitter, has become the most requested tutorial video I've ever had. So there's a stretch goal, which I've set hopefully high enough to keep it that way. We'll see. When you make your donation, you'll also be able to choose one of the perk levels that we're supplying, which will include some tokens of our appreciation for your support. And this year, that also includes some promos that were made for us by some of our great publisher friends. These will include ones for First Martians, Near and Far, Clank, and Raiders of the North Sea. Now in the past, I've included levels where you could just pick the promos that you want, but that's getting more and more difficult to do as I do all the fulfillment myself along with some of my local friends, but there's only a certain number of us and there's a growing number of you, so this year we're going to bundle things a little differently. For any of the new promos, you will be able to pick those up individually if you'd like, and there's also a nice little packaged level where you can get all 4 of the new ones in one donation. But then for some of the older promos, like the Dead of Winter ones, those will only be available at some of the higher perk levels. And the reason for that is because those promos I only have in limited supply, and they were supplied originally by Plaid Hat Games, which has now been bought by Asmodee, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get any more of those promos. And if you're thinking, well, geez, like, man, it's awful expensive way to buy promos, I would just try to encourage you to remember that that's not what this fundraiser is. It's not a promo delivery service. The promos are a token of appreciation, a way for me to say an extra thanks to those people who support the show and make it possible for me to keep working on it year after year. My favorite perk to offer is actually at the producer level, and that's where we add your name to the credits of every video that gets released during the season. And that's not just a visual reminder to me, but also to everyone else who watches our show, that Watch It Played is made possible because of a collaborative effort of fellow gamers, and I think that's kind of a special thing. I want to remind you, when you are registering for Indiegogo and making your pledges, please be sure to include your full and accurate mailing address, and that includes your country. I want to say a special reminder to our American friends about that, because there's a lot of you, and I am not located in the US. Because I'm in Canada, when I mail those things out to you, I need to include the country, so please make sure you put USA or United States or whatever it lets you do. If you have any questions during the campaign, do keep an eye on the update section of the fundraiser page, because that's where I'll collect questions and supply answers so everyone can benefit from them. But for now, I'll leave you, and I just want to say again, thank you. Thank you for being a part of Watch It Played, whether that's leaving comments on our videos, participating in gameplays, asking rules questions, following us on Twitter and Facebook, supporting the show financially. Whatever you do, thank you for that. And of course, until the next episode, thanks for watching.